Hello everybody and welcome to another third-party review. Today I'm lucky enough to be taking a look at the latest Citybot from MAKETOYS in the form of their MCB-03 Pandinus, aka Scorponok. And my golly gosh, this thing is massive. You will note that I've had to change around my display. I haven't been able to get the whole of the background section in. This thing is absolutely massive. First impressions, getting him out of the box, he feels incredible. He actually feels very much like the G1 Scorponok does in hand, only this guy has much more mass, bulk and size to him. The colours are nigh on perfect. I'm hoping you can pick that up on the camera here. I am shooting in 60 frames per second. It's just difficult to get it all in with the lighting, but the colours are so vibrant and clean. The set comes with their version of Zarak. Personally, I think this is probably one of the weakest parts of the set. Very much like the Fans Project figures with their little handles on the back. This guy has a keychain kind of scorpion tail. Don't get me wrong, in head mode this is fantastic because you can grip it and pull it out and it looks like you're ripping out Scorponok's spine. But I don't like the fact that it's attached. I could probably get that off there. It's not hugely noticeable, that little hook on the back there. I just don't like how they've got that attached though. It's almost like you've got a nice big red ponytail going on. Details on him are very nice indeed, very nice homage to the original. Come around to the back here, we do get a nice little glimpse of the Scorponok face, and it was good. Now, one thing I do like about Zarak is he does have a cheeky little scorpion mode. If we remove this leg, bring it all the way around the back, he folds up and covers this face section by bending at the knee. You can then untab this shoulder section, bring it down, and just rotate this arm around like so. And there we go. We have a cheeky little scorpion there with his long scorpion-like tail. I don't think there's a way of kind of attaching this onto there. It's a bit... I'm not really sure what else I'm meant to do with this. Just a stabby. But hey, it's a nice little touch. It's something that you didn't get with the original, and I think it's a nice little idea. Personally, I'm not going to display it like this. I'm not even going to display it in this glorious city mode. I'm going to have him in his bot mode, but hey ho, it's nice to have that option. As for the actual city mode itself, it is ruddy gorgeous. You've got this nice long ramp going on the front here with this nice opened up area here, almost very shrine-like. In fact, they actually call this the temple mode. We've got this really nice section on top here, very Decepticon-esque faceplate there at the top of the temple. Taking a look at these side pod sections, you've got these ramp sections here, you've got some cannons on top, you've got these rocket launchers on either side. Now there is an option to store the gun at the top of the tower section. Not personally a fan of that mode. I just don't think it looks right. I kind of think it ruins that kind of temple aesthetic. I mean, those of you that want an idea of scale, it's pretty darn big. We've got Classics Prime here and MP10. Not really sure what we've got that can scale with it though. I've got the Legends figures and they look pretty good in their vehicle modes with it, but I think they just need to be a tad smaller. Scorponok himself, Zarak, he's quite small. He's more the original headmaster size, and I think it's kind of that scale that would scale perfectly with this figure. But I mean, Legends will definitely work for now, until we get something smaller anyway. Right, to get this guy transformed up into his scorpion mode, the instructions are pretty straightforward. They tell us to slide these ramps in. There's one here, one at the back, and we then need to just lift this whole ramp section out. It's just tabbed on at several points underneath here, attached to this green section. Just pop that up and remove it. Come around to where these back leg sections are, and they are just tabbed in just on the base here. Basically, we just need to pop this tab open, and we're going to click this joint here. There's two joints here. It's like a double jointed knee. We're going to click this joint here. We're going to lift this green section up 4 clicks. The end result should be something a little like this. You've got this section with these pretty much above it, just to the angle, and these coming down either side. There's a joint just underneath this section here. grab the purple section and just bring that all the way down so it's in the straight position. Fold these legs round on this double hinge, and there's this tab here that's going to tab in to this section just on the orange piece, and this smaller tab section here will also just nicely tab into place, like so. If you come to use Scorponok's underbelly, you can then slide this grey tray section back in. It fits along exactly the same tabs as what we used when it was in base mode. Just slot that in, and that now gives us some wheels so Scorponok can roll. Our next step is to just adjust these arms. You want to swing this section round, swing this down. This section here is on a sliding tab. That's going to come out, and that's actually going to just slide across like so. You're going to want to grab this joint here, and you want to extend this arm out, rocking it as we go. This whole section here is actually going to turn around. We're going to rotate this shoulder joint all the way over. So this section here is at the front. Rotate these around, and then bring this section back round. Rotate the arm 90 degrees. And then there's a hinge just into the inside there. You want to bend that round like so. Now your shoulder joints should look something like this. Then you know you've got it in the correct position. Come around to this tail section, and it's tabbed in just here and here. You want to grab the tail, wiggle it out. You want to move it up. Now this is where it becomes incredibly fun to do on camera. We need to click this waist joint here. This section here flips round. It's 4 clicks. And if we look at the bottom of the foot, the instructions, I believe it's step 15, tell us to plug this purple tab here into this section here. That's actually incorrect. It's this one here, the one with the kind of slanted sides. We need to bend this leg up and then slide it, and push this section down onto here. Your result will be something like this with this nice kind of V-shaped angle. Grab the tail section, which is highly articulated, and you want to just lift it up, and you want to just bend it over nicely. Lift this section up here. This section is on a rocker, so it can rock forward. You're going to use this to close up this section once Zarak is in. As you can see, there is a plug section here. Zarak has this butt plug here, which is going to plug in nicely over here. And there he is, tucked in the cockpit, nice and cozy. I still really dislike this translucent piece. It really does get in the way. So we can just bring this over. And we can then bring the Scorpion section up, like so, and rotate it around. And there we have Scorponok. I mean, seriously, look at the size of that thing. It is fantastically monstrous. I love these spiked sections up the top here. The way the legs look like they're going to fire rockets. You've got that tail section just whipping over the back there as well. He is armed to the teeth with these huge cannons around the shoulder section. The claw pincers, they open and close. You've got these runners underneath each arm there, and you've got that sled section that we put underneath as well. He is big, he's chunky, he's bulky, he is fantastic. But not without his faults. Mine seems to be coming apart a little bit on the shoulder there. I don't know if there's a screw. I just may need to open it up and retighten the screw there. Don't know if that's a common fault or just a small flaw with mine. And I'm not 100% sure I like what they've done with the legs being offset like that. I mean, it's a nice look to it. But I don't know, maybe I'd like those a little bit closer together. What do you guys think? I love this whole cockpit section here for Zarak with the targeting system on there. He's nicely hidden away. Again, not a fan of that kind of ponytail thing he's got going on. The claws on this guy are big and monstrous. They have articulation. They have like a small cannon thing on the inside as well. Almost like a ball socket, but it looks like it's going to be firing off some missiles. He's definitely a steroided version of the G1 toy. And again, for a scale comparison, here is with the MP10 and Legends Huffer. There is a big difference in size there. Now, last but not least, he does, of course, turn into robot mode. So to get him transformed up, we're going to lift this up, flip this down, and pull out Zarek. We do not want him in there for the transformation. He will get crushed. You can then put this section back, and you want to fold this section around. You want to fold this section up and around like so. Come to the underside and remove the Scorpion base plate. Again, it's just tabbed in across the bottom there. Come around to the leg, you want to click that down 4, like we did when we put it into the position. So we want to go... So it's now sticking out at this angle. Move the thigh out. Straighten up this inner joint. Bring this leg down at the knee section. And then bring this all the way down. The ratchets on this are amazing. Grab these knee pad sections and they're going to rotate all the way up. Grab these cannon sections and just detach them from the toes. You're going to move those out. These toe sections here, if you grab the leg, that's going to bring this section forwards. And if you look here, there's these side tab sections. They've got small grooves in them. These sections here actually extend. And basically you want to line these groove sections up with these. It's easier said than done because this toy is so big and so heavy. Just line those up, slide that in, and that now acts as a piston. Our legs should now look something like this, just slanted off to either side. There is a very tight ratchet joint just in behind this foot section here. It is very, very tight, but as you twist it, these pistons move up and down, so you can get a really nice ankle pivot to get a very wide stance. Now you want to grab the torso section, lift this up till it's fully extended, and then you want to rotate this entire mid-section around. That's going to go a full 180 degrees, and then that can slide back down. Come around to the back section here, and this here is going to fold up. Underneath here, there's this bottom tab. That's going to come in there and just tab into place. It's easier said than done just because of the sheer size of this thing. It's so heavy. The tabs are very solid, but it's just a matter of trying to line everything up, and that's quite difficult just because of the size. Straighten all of these Scorpion legs out, and now we're just going to bring up the tail. We want to rock it up, extend it out, and that's going to come up. Now the tail is meant to plug into that hole at the back there. Cannot for the life of me get that to tab in. This section's here, this is all screwed in, this is fairly solid, but it should sit in there, and it doesn't. Bring the arms down. On the inside here, this whole joint's going to rock down on the inside. Move this section up. This is actually going to fold in on itself like so. This section here is going to rotate just underneath this grey section on the shoulder. I'm going to rotate it so these sections here are facing forwards. Then bend the wrist up, like so. Rotate the hands around. These sections on the arms can be slid off. They're just on rotating sliders, and they can be slid down onto the shoulder sections. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think I may have two of the same arm. They're both meant to have these kind of grey circle sections on them, like this. Now, mine both have those on, but to get mine to look like that, you have to rotate this arm around, like so, and bend it up and around. But now that I've done that, my large section here is on the inside, where I slide my rockets on, and that should actually be on the outside. So I'm wondering if there's a slight faux pas there in the construction of this, which is actually very untoward for MAKETOYS, because I know they are pretty darn decent when it comes to QC. So I'm going to email those once the video goes live and just see what's going on there, because I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be like that. You can then split the shield section, and that slots into those tabs on the arms where these rocket sections were. That looks really menacing. Now with Zarak in bot mode, we can take a quick look at the articulation. Head does not move. Arms are on these swivel joints here, so you can rotate them round. You've got ball joints here. You've got a bend at the elbow. You do have a waist rotation. You have a leg go out this far forwards. Bend at the knee. Now, of course, this spine thing does get in the way. I really dislike it. Let's put Zarak's arms beside him, like so. You want to rotate his waist around. Then you want to bend these sections over, and there's a tab there and a tab there. These two are going to line up and tab together. Do the same with this side. Line those up and tab those in. He says, easier said than done. This thing is quite small. I've gone from transforming a massive great city to transforming a little tiny headmaster. So just line those tabs up. There we go, they are tabbed in. That is Scorponok's head. This now is going to come over to the body here. This section here is going to tilt downwards, and you can see inside there is a small kind of crevice thing going on. This here is where Zarak is going to plug in. You're going to ditch his spine out to the side by rotating the upper shoulder section. Not really a point of articulation, his head doesn't really rotate, it's kind of like a shoulder section that turns. It now puts this section off to the side, and now allows us to come around here, slide his head into that headmaster port, and then bring Scorponok's head back up. And here he is all transformed up. Man, this thing is absolutely massive. It is a beast. I really did struggle with the transformation. It is pretty easy. It's just because it's so darn big. The sculpt on this guy is absolutely incredible. It is by far some of the best work that MAKETOYS have done. Now, I'm a huge fan of the MAKETOYS Masterpiece series, but I think this kind of tops it. You've got this up and down motion on the neck here. You've got a nice little swivel on Scorponok's head. You've got ratchet shoulders that go out. You've got this kind of ratcheted shoulder section here, which allows his arms to bend outwards and inwards. You've got a nice bend at the elbow. You've got these big, huge, menacing claws. We have a waist rotation. We've got bends at the knee. We've got those piston-driven pivots. I mean, just look at his feet. You've got these big, huge energon spikes here. You've got nice little doors that open up to give us hidden compartments for headmasters. Now, I love how this huge tail section comes over the back as well. And I do love this Decepticon-esque face. It's truly menacing. Scale-wise, he's a Hulk of a bot, an absolute Goliath. He looks fantastic like that, doesn't he? I love this really huge, stocky image that he's got going on with that fairly slender waist and just really big, hench shoulders. Guy's been hitting the gym hard. Holds his gun quite nicely, just like the other MAKETOYS. There's a sliding groove on the inside of his hand that slides in there. Now, I did discover something whilst transforming him that I can't find anything about in the instructions. Slide the arm shield off. Rotate this section around so it's flat, like so. This now allows you to actually split this section up, open this up, and remove the fist. We now actually have hand that can come down, rotate round like so, and then bend up. Now, just as before, he can hold his gun. It slides down into his hand. If you don't want the big, large gun, we can remove this gun. We can just pop the ammo cartridge down. We can close this section up, and we do have a much smaller gun now to slide in there. Fist is nicely articulated, rotation there, pivot, fingers, 3 points, ball as well, very articulated, very strong, very tight joint. You can now close it up into a fist so he could Scorponok you out. No, just no. So there we have it, guys. This is Pandinus, or Pandinus. He is a very nice figure indeed. The size does cause somewhat of an issue when trying to transform him just because of that weight, but all of his joints are remarkably tight. He doesn't suffer from the same syndromes as, say, Generations Metroplex, where you lift him up and his legs just collapse. Everything fits nicely. I am slightly concerned about that arm. I fear I may have 2 left claws. Not entirely sure. But like I said, I'll contact them after the video. I really want to go out and get their Metroplex now. Trouble is, he has gone up in price, isn't he? He's a very nice figure, and this guy really does make me want to get him. I mean, I haven't had him in hand. I mean, the guys that have had him, is he as good as he looks? Because this guy is phenomenal. He exceeded all of my expectations. I wasn't expecting it to be as sturdy and as well built as it is. It honestly does remind me so much of that G1 Scorponok. It's phenomenal. Levels of detailing are incredible. Now, I will be putting my own photo gallery up on benscollectables.com as soon as I have time. But for now, make sure you go and check out Kuma Styles' pictures. He's taken some gorgeous pictures of this guy. You want some good comparisons of this? I believe it was Pure. I think he managed to get Metroplex in the shot as well, comparing them. And I think Bobby done some really good comparisons as well. For now, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you found this video useful and enjoyed it. I cannot recommend this figure enough. Now, with a $400 price tag, you can get a lot of different things for $400. It's a lot of money. But, in my opinion, being a toy collector, spending, say, $70 a time on a small masterpiece figure, spending 70 to 80 piece a time on part of a combiner, getting an entire city triple changing robot for $400 is pretty much a decent steal. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, from myself and Pandinus, goodbye.